In a small, vibrant village, there lived a merchant named Jonah, who earned his living by selling salt. Every day, Jonah would travel to the nearby salt mines, load large sacks of salt onto his faithful donkey, Beto, and head to the marketplace. The journey was long and tiring, and the heavy sacks weighed down on Beto's back as they walked along dusty roads and over rivers. Yet, Beto carried the load with determination, knowing his work was essential to Jonah's business. One particularly hot summer day, as Beto trudged along the usual path, something unusual happened. As they reached a shallow river, Beto slipped on a smooth rock and fell into the cool water. The sudden splash startled him, but when he regained his balance and stood up, Beto noticed something surprising. His load had become much lighter. The salt had dissolved in the river water, leaving him with hardly any weight on his back. Beto, feeling a sense of relief, continued the journey with ease, thinking, "How wonderful! The water washed away my burden." That day, he returned home feeling lighter both physically and mentally, believing he had discovered a clever way to escape the heavy labor. The next day, as Jonah once again loaded the heavy sacks of salt onto Beto's back, the donkey remembered what had happened at the river. A mischievous idea formed in his mind. "If I can just fall into the river again, I'll be free from this weight once more," he thought to himself with a sly smile. As they neared the same river crossing, Beto deliberately stumbled, pretending to slip. Once again, the bags of salt fell into the water, and the salt quickly dissolved. Beto climbed out of the river, proud of his cleverness, and continued the journey with a much lighter load. But Jonah, being observant, began to suspect that Beto's accidental falls weren't entirely accidental. He thought for a moment and realized what the crafty donkey was up to. "Ah, Beto," Jonah thought, "you're trying to trick me to lighten your load, but two can play this game." The following morning, Jonah decided to teach Beto a valuable lesson. Instead of filling the sacks with salt, Jonah quietly stuffed them with dry, light sponges. The sacks appeared just as heavy, and Beto, unaware of the change, set off as usual with the same sly plan in mind. As they approached the river, Beto, confident in his trick, slipped into the water once more. But this time, something unexpected happened. Instead of the load becoming lighter, the sponges absorbed the water and grew incredibly heavy, much heavier than the salt had ever been. Beto struggled and strained, barely able to lift his feet as the waterlogged sponges weighed him down. With each step, Beto's legs trembled under the weight, and his clever trick had now become an unbearable burden. He brayed in frustration, realizing that his shortcut had only made things harder. The once easy path was now a grueling, exhausting challenge. Jonah walked over and patted Beto on the side with a knowing smile. "You see, Beto," he said, "trying to avoid hard work may seem like a good idea, but shortcuts can lead to even heavier burdens. It's always better to carry your load with honesty and effort. Hard work may be tough, but it always pays off in the end." Beto, drenched and exhausted, nodded his head in understanding. He realized that his plan to avoid hard work had only made things worse. From that day on, he stopped trying to trick Jonah and carried his load with pride, knowing that hard work was the true path to success. The story of Beto the donkey teaches us a valuable lesson. Shortcuts may seem tempting, but they often come with unexpected consequences. Hard work, though challenging, brings real rewards in the end. So, the next time you face a heavy task, remember Beto's journey and know that the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow.